Okay, introduction to the town of Innisfil. So who knows where Innisfil is? Has anyone heard of Innisfil? Innisfil is on Lake Simcoe shoreline. So this is where we are. So if you look at that map, there's Lake Simcoe. We're about an hour north of Toronto, just south of the city of Barrie. Newmarket, Bradford. We're just to the north of those areas. We're a shoreline community that's traditionally been more a cottage, kind of agricultural rural area, but we are urbanizing and growing in certain pockets, and kind of just touch on that in this presentation a little bit. So this is a map that's from our official plan and just gives you a bit of a sense of the land area of Innisfil. How we have our about 2/3 of our land area is agricultural rural lands. Then the area of Alcona, that's where about half of our population is. So about 45,000 currently, and about half our population, 20,000 in Alcona. That's where the future Innisfil GO station will be. That little GO station circle. So that's at the 6th line of Innisfil. So we have several settlements that are throughout the town. And then there's Highway 400 that goes through Innisfil north to south. That's where the Innisfil employment area is located. So that gives you a bit of a sense of Innisfil. So who we are, we're a lower tier municipality within the county of Simcoe. There's 16 municipalities within the county of Simcoe, and we're the 3 municipalities that sort of kind of the South Simcoe area is us, and Bradford and Newtecumseh, kind of the fastest growing area within the county of Simcoe. So our population increased by 18% from 2016, and we're forecast to reach nearly 85,000 by 2051. So that's our population doubling within the next 30 years. So it's a fairly significant increase. So just some of our largest employers, like Honda, which is in Alliston, just to the west of us, and public sector employers, and we're largest, like school boards, and like even the military. There's Baseboard, and that's in Angus, just to the west of us. And so in Innisfil, in our context, because we are more rural, kind of a bit more of, you've probably heard the term bedroom community, where a lot of our residents, they commute outside for work. About 80% currently commute outside of Innisfil for work. And that's where, as planners, as we look to plan for the community for the long term, it's how we can provide more jobs within the community. And that's where things like some of the projects that we'll touch on will hope to address that. Just Innisfil developments, kind of major projects that we'll touch on is, Friday Harbor. That's a project that's, it's a resort that's developed. It's a marina. There's condominium apartments and shops, and it's within Big Bay Point, Lake Simcoe. There's a picture of it there. So the orbit, this is the area that we're currently planning for the area around the future Innisfil GO station. So there's secondary plans that are being prepared for this area, and the master plans, and it's looking to essentially plan for a population that's the entire town currently within a very tight, dense area around the future Innisfil GO station, just to be more walkable and to ensure that people can get around the community, be able to access shops and services right nearby that GO station without having to rely on a private vehicle. So something that we've done at Innisfil that's very unique and innovative is our partnership that we have with Uber. So rather than in our context, as you saw from the previous maps, is that we have these settlement areas that are very spread out, and to run traditional transit services like buses to try to connect all those communities, it would be very difficult and very expensive in our context. So what we did is we partnered with Uber to essentially just provide you with discounted Uber fares to use the service. So depending on where you're going, it would be $4, $5, or $6, and you would pay that, and then the town pays the difference. So that's one example of some innovation that in a small community we've been able to have these types of projects. Other examples has been accepting cryptocurrency for tax payments, and that picture is from one of our libraries where we have hack labs, and it's really envisioning these libraries as community hubs and places for people to gather, and people of all ages to come together. And even things like robotic sidewalk plows are within Innisfil as well. So it's just kind of the right size to be able to explore and be creative with many of these projects. In terms of upcoming, so we're very excited of some of the plans that we have underway for Innisfil town campus. So this is an area of the Innisfil where we have a town hall, we have a rec complex. There's plans for a future library community hub within this area. And this is where there's going to be a future hospital as well. So right now, Innisfil residents, they'd have to drive to, say, Barrie or to Newmarket or to Alliston to go to a hospital. So Innisfil's very excited to be having a new hospital. So that's where a lot of our plans is looking at really leveraging those opportunities that come with having a hospital to the town campus. So just a number of other planning projects. That's a drone shot I took myself. That's of that town campus area. So that's where our town hall is, police station, the rec complex, and baseball diamonds. But looking for a community planning permit system that's really an updated zoning bylaw, and provides more streamlined development approvals, and a housing strategy, because most of our housing currently is single family homes. So looking at ways to try to diversify that housing stock and be able to make housing more affordable. I mentioned our town campus master plan. Kishmita is going to touch on our placemaking and our placemaking destinations master plan. And then we're doing a transit master plan that's really looking at how do we evolve and scale up our current form of transit to include other modes other than what we currently have with Uber. But as our population doubles in size, that how do we provide some form of buses or higher capacity vehicles? So that is just a very high level overview of Innisfil and kind of what planners would be looking to do, and really being flexible with their plans and policies and approaches to growth in a small town that really has a lot of rural agricultural areas, but also we have portions of the town that are urbanizing, and then as those areas grow, there's that demand for more urban services like transit, for example, that I mentioned. So it's very unique place to be working as a planner, but it brings a lot of exciting opportunities and challenges as well. So hopefully that was a helpful introduction. And if there's any, maybe stop there if there's any questions on the first part, and then Kishmita can then do the next slides and get into then the whole activity that we have planned.
Yep, so if anyone has questions, you can either unmute yourself or type them in the chat. I will ask one question that the OneUp team is actually curious about, and it's, are there government goals involved in planning cities, or is it purely based on demand?
Yes, so that's where if you go to planning school someday, you'll know that municipalities are creatures of the province. So that means that the province, they have legislation and policies that they have, and they update those as well fairly regularly. So one's called a provincial policy statement. There's a planning act, and those all have these rules. Well, there's a growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe that we have to plan for as well. So these are all policies that then municipalities at our level, we need to then reflect through documents such as our official plan and our zoning bylaw. And those really shape the growth and the demand. So yeah, it's not the Wild West. Yeah, we have these policies that we have to put in place according to the provincial kind of vision for how growth should occur.
Awesome, thank you. I don't think we have any questions right now. We might have some more later if we let the students kind of think about what you've just gone through. So I think we can go on with the placemaking.
Okay, Kishmita, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. So as Paul discussed, that town of Innisfil is having some exciting projects and some projects we are working underway. So placemaking is one of the crucial project which is defined in the official plan of town of Innisfil. So because the official plan of town of Innisfil aims at striving towards making our place. So we are trying to make Innisfil a great place from a point of perception where we can come up with more community cohesiveness, vibrancy, some strong relationships between communities. So we are angling all these things from the point of placemaking point of view. So just to give you a brief about what placemaking is all about. Um, can we go to next slide, please? So placemaking is all about engaging and creating a sustainable public destinations within a town or a city where everyone, they feel connected, they feel engaged, and they feel safety and comfort which a public space can offer. So these are the places where people, they love to shop, eat, gather, socialize, play, work, and it's a place where people, they can establish long-term as well as short-term emotional and social ties. So these are the very crucial open spaces within a city which bring together the community, and it gives a sense of cohesiveness within a community and a society. So it's the placemaking approach is mostly aligned with the community planning approach, keeping people in the center of planning process. So at town of Innisfil, our goal is also to make the town which we term as our place, a great place for people to hang out, to create healthy and vibrant places. Then we have next slide, please. So placemaking, just to give you a gist about how the placemaking works and what principles the town of Innisfil is standing on to go through this placemaking approach. So at the town of Innisfil, in our official plan, we have 4 principles upon which we are aiming to create our places within the town. So first principle is activities and uses. So coming up with such activities, events in the public places, and turning them into a useful place where people, they can have a platform to do a lot of vibrant programs, events. So creating such places from activity point of view. The second principle we are following is increasing accessibility and linkages. So we are striving to create a cohesive and comprehensive environment where all our places, these key places which we have identified in the town, they are all linked together and they are very safe and comfortable in terms of accessibility point of view, so that they are inclusive from different sections of society, so that everybody can access these places easily. And then the third principle which we are following is comfort and image, because we believe that town of Innisfil, it is rich in history, and there's a vibrant culture and historical component within the town. So just to bring that out, we are striving to come up with ideas where we can highlight those elements and we can portray the image of the town through these placemaking destinations, and also thinking these planning for these places from point of comfort, so that these are a comfortable and safe places for everyone to use. And the final principle which we are using is sociability, because Innisfil is a small town, and we are striving to come up with ideas where we can increase social interaction among the communities and making it, because we are striving to make them more walkable. So we are aiming towards creating a place where we can have maximum social interaction and human connection as possible. So these are the principles which we are following in our official plan for different policies, as well as for this placemaking concept, which we are trying to integrate in the town. Next slide, please. So just to give you an idea, at the town of Innisfil, because the town is distributed in a sense that we have very small communities which are located at like different places within the town. So to cover all these places, we have classified these placemaking destination into three categories. So first category is parks, public parks. So this is just an example that of two parks in the Innisfil which are identified under these placemaking destinations. So Nanterre Park and Innisfil Beach Park, which is very popular in the Elkona community. So these are two of the parks which we have identified under the placemaking destination. The next category which we have identified is the downtown areas. So as you can see from the pictures that these, so Stroud and Elkona are two important communities within Innisfil. So we want to come up with vibrant and alive downtown areas like I know the town of Innisfil doesn't have that density right now, but we are striving to make these downtown belts more economically as well as socially vibrant. So this is the second category which we have identified in this placemaking destination. And the third last category is our community centers and libraries, because at the town we believe that these centers or these destinations, they act as important source of like social interactions and important places for people to go. So and presently also our libraries and community centers, they are having a lot of activities for kids of all ages, for people of all ages, many events. So we are trying to, apart from the indoor activities, in the placemaking approach, we are aiming towards developing some outdoor activities as well, and coming up with some place elements which can upgrade these community centers and libraries, and we can increase the frequency as well as the usage of these facilities. So that is the third category which we have under placemaking. Then we have an activity for you where we thought maybe we all can be a placemaker and we can try to design downtowns, parks and libraries in our own way. So I think we'll go forward with this, Cynthia.
Are we on the live? Okay. Do you want to stay on this board?
Yeah, stay on that board, because I wasn't a very good leader and I didn't realize how Jamboard works, that there's other slides to it. So we actually ended up just thinking of all the elements that we wanted to see in our ideal community hub library space, and it's, yeah, I think we created a pretty awesome space if all of this were part of it.
That's
So,
nice. Puppy cafe. Kitten
yeah,
cafe.
lots of
Yeah,
cool ideas.
that's
Therapy
cool.
dogs.
Wow, therapy
Yeah.
dogs. Silent disco. That's also cool.
Yeah, vibe room, which is like a chill space.
Yeah.
Book delivery robot would be great.
Food trucks. Nice.
They have book delivery robots in like a Copenhagen library.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of programming for a library.
Yeah,
That's a-
books we actually added last.
That's a lot of ideas for NSPL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our group. Anything else to add, Devish or Daniel, that you want to highlight?
Dogs, a lot of dogs. Cats.
Yeah, therapeutic animals.
Very awesome. Are we good to move to downtown?
Downtown, we had some discussion, but we didn't jot down points.
Should I go on this? Which board?
Yeah, we ended up having discussion about the orbit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is somewhat conceptual of the orbit.
What is I'm assuming these are-
That's yeah.
and then what's here to the right?
That's the orbit concept. That's my version, and then the below one is Sterling's version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my Zoom screen went a bit off, so for like the past few minutes, and I was figuring out trying to how to fix it. But yeah, so as like pretty much mentioned, like we started off by talking sort of how downtowns were different in major cities and smaller cities.
Hmm.
Because in downtown Toronto, it would be you could picture a lot more high rises, but then that wouldn't be what you picture in Innisfil, and then that it would be more of like a community center. And then we talked about how we could like modernizing town centers with more like traffic based and transit based like growth, and then sort of how like the orbit was being planned out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good you took into account how different municipalities, depending on, you know, its urbanality. I don't think that's a word, but I'll use it.
Yeah.
To take into account how it is there.
Yeah, and not just stereotyping. Yeah.
Very good point. And then we have, okay, 1 minute left. We'll quickly go through parks. So we picked the top 5 amenities or programming we think should be in a park. And that was number 1, seating, number 2, play equipment, number 3, programming, 4, an iconic structure or meeting point, and 5, local businesses and food trucks. We chose a park with a lake, so the lake is pretty much the meeting point for everyone. Benches to make sure everyone can sit. Lookout point, and then that also ties into the meeting point. The playground equipment for the children to enjoy, yoga class. Parents have to do something while the kids are playing, and then food trucks, because who does not look for food when they're at a park?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to stop sharing screen now. And I will thank you, Paul, Kishmita, for joining us tonight. It was really fun doing the placemaking activity. It's always interesting just to, I mean, at least for the parks, only pick the top 5, but definitely picking more like the top 20 for libraries.
Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. This was good, amazing experience. I hope we tried to highlight some of the planning perception and how town of Innisfil is thinking about it.
It's very
Yeah.
important to
Yeah.
learn just not only about big urban centers, but also the growing towns and how you can kind of pilot more other like innovative approaches instead of just going traditionally. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for spending the time again tonight with us. I will let you go now so you don't have to stay late. Yes. Good night, everyone.
All right, thanks,
Good
everyone.
night. Thanks,
you.
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye.